sports rendezvous. These boys have got a tale to tell. You might learn a thing or two. Won't be unusual to hear Skip talk about Shih Tzu. Come take a ride with me to a land of fantasy. There'll be some drinking and some words. Spend some time with Skippy and Trip, even though they're full of shit. These boys are straight up football nerds. I'd like to welcome you to the sports rendezvous. Who knows what's gonna happen next? The production value's low, but that won't stop them though. They still got lots of special guests. Welcome to the sports rendezvous.
Hello everyone, welcome to our second rendezvous of the year. A few things to cover tonight, and it's been an interesting year. It's been a strange year, and I'm excited for the playoffs. I'm excited to see it through. I think this year more than any other, we've had some just straight dominance in the league, which typically we don't see. Typically, it's been pretty even. There's been a lot of parity the last 4 years or so, and it's been strange how we have some haves and have-nots this season. A few things to cover quickly before I get to the big thing that needs to be covered, and then I'll just talk playoffs and wish you guys luck, and we'll move on. The commish covered a lot of things on the message board, and those I think are the most relevant. He's going to add that this is the last week for waivers, so don't forget that. Every year somebody seems to forget that and assume that next week there will be pickups. There won't be. This is it. So keep that in mind. This show, in this league in particular, has really been a fucking joke the last 2 years. I think last year we did one show, and this year we've done two. And as you can see, it's just trip again. So I think moving forward, and I had the commish mention this in the message board post, but I think moving forward what we're going to do is I'm just going to do the show as often as I can on my schedule, and I'd like to have a recap every week. I think that's fun. It keeps everything fresh. It keeps everybody informed, and I do think that some events that have happened this year and maybe even last year might not have happened if we'd had more recaps. So it's either writing them or doing the show, and frankly it takes the old Tripster just as long to write the motherfucker as it does for me to make a video. So I'd rather do this. I'm going to do the show. I'm hoping at least twice a month if I'm doing it on my own. If I'm not depending on somebody else time-wise or to show up, I can do the son of a bitch in 20-30 minutes, upload it to YouTube in an hour and a half, which I don't even have to sit there for, and we're rolling. So, if we can do that, and somebody wants to show up and co-host the motherfucker, sweet. If not, I'll just do it. And, that way we at least get a show. I'd also like to go back to that first season. I thought it was really fun. We did it more so in pants than Newbold, but we did do it in Newbold as well, is interview you guys. I think that you got a kick out of that the first year, and I know we certainly enjoyed doing it. So, maybe that brings a little bit back, because I don't want the league to get stale. I don't want, I don't want us to feel like we're not doing anything, which is pretty much what we've been doing for the last 2 years. So we'll try that. And, again, I just want to thank everybody. This was year 9, and to think that we'd be going on a decade next year is pretty shocking. But I appreciate all of you guys staying with it all these years and seeming to enjoy the league. For whatever reason, this league seems to be a lot of people's favorite league, or league that they want to win the most. I don't know why. It's, for me, it's certainly a fun league, but it's the league that I feel like is the luckiest with these long scoring plays. So for me, I feel like it's less skill and whatever, but I still enjoy it. So and it seems like you guys do too. So it's been fun, and I'm looking forward to year 10. So something that we've never done before is invite the commissioner himself to come on the show and talk. And we're going to have that today because he feels the need to address an issue or two. So here he is. Hi guys, it's been a long time coming for me to get on this fucking piece of trash show and talk to you. And never really had a reason before. But this year we have a late payment situation in which Tommy Fondo, one half of the Harry Boys, didn't pay his entry fee in time, and now we have a dispute as to who should be in the playoffs and whether or not Tom should be kicked out of the league. Okay, in the bylaws it does state if I don't receive payment by week 13, you are kicked out of the league, and if you're in the playoffs, kicked out of the playoffs. That's written in the bylaws. All right. I've spoken with the parties involved, and while everybody isn't necessarily happy, a conclusion was drawn, and everybody has chosen to stay in the league moving forward. Nobody's leaving the league. Nobody is that upset or upset enough to leave the league. At least the people that are directly involved. You guys may, maybe after you watch this, you're more upset or less upset. I'm not sure. I guess I would say that over the years, I've made concessions regarding payment and regarding, other things. I mean, this year we had a situation with the waiver dollars. Now, Carlson, in jest called me out and wrote up a big, long, funny thing, and it was funny, Carlson, so good job. But look, we've all made mistakes, and while this is a mistake that certainly could have been avoided, many mistakes are. So I would say, without going into the whole thing, I'm partially to blame. I checked the league safe accounts in week 1 when we drafted, and then I didn't check them until literally yesterday when I went in and edited all the accounting and put all the new playoff structures in and everything. That's when I checked. I've been very busy, no need for excuses, but I just didn't. So, me being partially to blame for not at least mentioning it to him, hey man, you owe some money. I feel like, part of the blame falls on me, so I don't want to certainly not kick somebody out. and two, you know, I don't feel a need to take them out of the playoffs. Beers' entry, or half of the entry, was paid. In years past, we've had situations that an owner has come to me and said, hey, I'm going through some shit. I'm a little down on my luck. Can I give you half the money now and half the money when I can get it to you? And that's been fine. I've worked that out with them. I'm sure I've mentioned it on the message board in years past. So, you know, I'm not going to kick anybody out. I'm not going to take them out of the playoffs for that reason. I think, hello, champ.
Yo,
Good to see you.
you too, Trip.
Oh, this is the commish over here.
Oh,
This is the commish, yeah.
so you guys look a lot alike.
Right, we do. We get that a lot. So, you know, I hope, you know, I hope everybody's at least okay with that decision. You know, I'm not. It's not like I'm happy about it, but it's the decision I'm making. So, you know, if you feel the need to move on, I understand. But certainly the person who rose it and brought it to my attention, you know, they're okay with it. They're not leaving, which makes me happy. And you know, hopefully, I guess from now on, I hope we learn a lesson here, and we just pay the fucking money. I mean, it's really not difficult to go on League Safe and make that payment. So I am hoping that from now on we don't have any issues, and I don't anticipate it. Okay, so good times, good luck. I plan on beating the shit out of all of you in the playoffs, and look forward to doing so. See ya. Alright, so I'm filming this like 3 days after I filmed the other two because we had a camera issue. You'd think after 4 years of this shit we'd be able to have some decent camera work around here. Well, obviously not the case. I know what the commish kind of said, and you know, I guess hopefully that puts at least some bad feelings to bed. You know, when he spoke with Luke made it seem like it's not okay. He understands, and I guess I hope the rest of you do too. So we'll just move on from there. In talking about the playoffs, we've got the Champs Conference. Harry Boys versus Tasteless, Garrett versus the Shit Guys. In the runner-up conference, we've got Jameis versus Forget Favre, and Bad News Bears versus Vinegar Strokes. Now, I'll just go over the Champs Conference first. Harry Boys and Tasteless, Garrett, Shit Guys. Harry Boys and Tasteless, Matty has been solid all year long. He just missed out on the bye in the playoff or in the points bracket to Garrett, and he's been solid all year. He's had some really high scoring weeks. He's had a few low scoring weeks, but those came early in the season. So basically, you know, I think this comes down to, as far as the entire playoffs goes, kind of a 4 or 5 man race. And you know, Henry obviously has blown everybody away all year long, but Tasteless, Garrett, and even the Shit Guys have scored a fair amount of points, and Peanut as well. His record doesn't say so, but he's got a points against average of like 720 or something absurd. So as far as that conference bracket, I think that Tasteless wins the first game, and as far as the Garrett versus Shit guys, I think anybody could win that. For sake of ease, I'll say that Benny moves on. He's got good matchups, and Garrett does not necessarily. So, as far as Tasteless and the Shit guys, I think Matty puts those draft picks to work and comes out of that conference. The runner-up bracket, we've got Jameis and Forget Favre, Bad News versus Strokes. Jameis is disgusting. Congrats on making the playoffs. Like, shockingly, I don't know how in any universe this team makes the playoffs. Must be a consolation to just how bad Danny was this year. The other game is more interesting. While Peanut has a better squad, somehow all year long he's just been getting these terrible matchups where the other team is just scoring more points than he is. So does it continue here with the only two-time champ in league history? Maybe. I think it's a foregone conclusion. I would be shocked if Henry doesn't come out of this conference, which brings us to a Henry Mataram showdown in the championship. And I'll save that for last. So that brings us to the Wet Shit Bowl. We've got Danny's team at Nanny Peterson, who just missed out on the playoffs. David, this team, I don't know how you finished 7-6. It's literally the worst team I've ever seen you put together. It's disgusting and frankly a little embarrassing. So, Charles Osgood, great name. I don't know if we gave it enough credit at the beginning of the year, but that's a great fucking name. Against Rhonda. And I would say, one, who gives a shit? Two, I would think that Rhonda comes out of this just based on points. The point bracket, Henry and Garrett have the bye, so that should help them a little bit. But, and we'll reseed that once we get to round 2. So that Henry ends up playing the lower seed, whoever the fuck it is. But, I'll be interested to see. Shit guys, Vinegar Strokes, and then Rhonda and Tasteless. And really, as we've seen in years past, anybody can fucking win this one. So, I think that through some twisted, fucked up, fateful situation, I feel like Henry doesn't win again. He probably should have won the last 3 years, for sure the last 2, and just through some sick twist of fate, it didn't happen for him. So I guess, we'll stick with that theme, and perhaps in hopes of a reverse jinx, because if there's a year where you deserve it, Henry, this certainly is it. So there you have it. I don't know if we'll come back after the season. We always say we will and we won't. But I'll just echo my statements that I started the show with, which is next year I intend on doing more shows. And if it is just me sitting here, so be it. We can do some more interviews perhaps. I know you guys liked that when we did it. But it's just hard. We're getting older. We have more responsibilities and less time. So, hopefully next year things simmer down a little bit and I'm able to do more shows. This was a heck of a year. A lot of haves and have-nots. So it'll be interesting to see the way this 4 or 5 man playoff tournament goes. But who knows? Crazier shit has happened. Maybe Douglas pulls out a 3rd championship. So there you have it, boys. I hope this fucking video works because frankly, I don't have time to do another one. So, good luck. Sorry for the bullshit. Glad we're all still friends. Goodbye.